do too much, Dr. McLaren, so it's nice that you have a new chair. I'm glad you have a new chair.
Thank you. I was in the other chair. We had we had actually more people before, and we also rearranged the furniture so you could see all of us.
Okay, and if you could close the blind in the background.
Yeah, I'll open that up so I can see the lake.
That would be awesome. Then we can see your beautiful faces.
Can you see us now?
Yes. What am I turning on? Hold on 1 second. We're not the sound. Oh, I gotta turn on the sound. Yeah. Is the lighting quality okay though?
Now we want to see you on the big screen. And then they see you on the big screen in a minute. Don't worry.
Well, can you hear it now?
The problem is if we put you guys on if we put ourselves on the big screen, then when we're recording, we only see ourselves, and we'd like to record you guys.
Oh.
That makes sense. You can't see, but last time they could. Couldn't you see us last time?
Yeah. So if you click the bottom right, there should be a box where you can see everybody. If you click that box, that'll pop up for you guys.
Right, but when we're recording it on YouTube right now, so I have to make you guys as presenting. So I have to have your screen as presenting. So that's why it's big and we're little.
Does that make sense?
Does that make sense?
When we record, it's going to record us instead of you if we don't leave it the way it is now.
That's fine. Well, now we can see you.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
You can see it.
No, it's the same way it was this morning. Sorry, we're all set. And so Grace is helping with the technology, but she has to go in a few minutes. So if anyone has specific questions for computer science majors or math, she's a double major in computer science and math, and she'll have to leave it within 5 minutes. But the rest of us are staying.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. And Grace, is that her name?
Yes.
Thank you, Grace. And you were there last round too, right?
Yes.
To make sure things ran smoothly. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to start in the room, just so you ladies know, we have sophomores. Want to raise your hands? There they are at the back table. They want to sit in the back because this is my senior class, so it's kind of intimidating, sitting with the seniors. And juniors, we have a junior in the room, Malaysia. She's over here. And then everybody else is getting ready to walk the stage.
Woo, all right.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed after they hear your amazing persuasive speech about how important it is to graduate, right?
Yes. Very important.
Okay, so if we could start with introductions of who you guys are and your experience at Rollins so far, that would be great.
You want to start, Grace?
Yeah, sure. I'll start. So hi everybody, my name is Grace Soto. I'm from Israel. I am a 4th year, so I'm a senior for all you seniors out there. I'm graduating in about a week or 2, let's hope. I'm double majoring in math and computer science, and yeah, that's pretty much me. Oh, and part of the Bonner Leaders Program. If you guys don't know what that is, check it out.
I'm Jane. I'm a senior as well, graduating in 2 weeks. I'm a philosophy major, business minor. I'm from Houston, Texas. And after graduation, I'm going to Georgetown Law School.
She decided.
I just decided, yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah. I'm Natasha. I'm a first semester senior. I'm a philosophy major, and I'm from Maryland. I'm Laura. I'm a 2nd semester junior, and I'm a psychology major and environmental studies minor.
And Professor McLaren, I teach philosophy at Rollins College, and I also teach in the Sexuality, Women, and Gender Studies program, and I'm coordinator of that.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to start with, we have some students that have questions. Yep. Angel's going to go first. Come on, Angel. What? No, just ask one. Introduce who you are and tell your question.
Angel, senior from Rochester. Which colleges are considered rivals?
Rivals?
Yeah, rivals.
Well, we don't have rivals. We're the best.
Good answer.
Well, I'll start. I mean, we answered this before, but of course, none of you were there before. But we have an academic rival, and that's Elon University of North Carolina, and they're our academic rival because for the last I don't know, 8 years in a row, they've been number 2 in the South, and we're number 1 in the South. But one year they were number 1 and we were number 2, and we were so pissed off. But that's an academic rivalry. I don't know if any of the students are on sports teams, but we do have rival sports teams, and we have rivals. Do you want somebody to talk about that?
Sports rival. Yeah. I'm not sure. In terms of sports, like we're a D2 school, so sports aren't as huge at Rollins. Like we still have a lot of support for like our games and stuff, but we don't necessarily have like those huge rivals that you would see at like a big state school like Florida State or UF. But we do have like a lot of school spirit and stuff. It's just not necessarily like a rival like you would have in high school or like one of those bigger schools.
Yeah. So it's not like the Gators and the Seminoles, like University of Florida and Florida State University. They are huge rivals down here, but we don't have football. We have every other sport, including water skiing and golf. We have lacrosse and soccer. So we have a lot of sports. We have a lot of athletic scholarships, actually. And we have both men's and women's sports, full teams. And we've made it to the nationals, like our golf team made it to the nationals this year. Soccer, women's soccer consistently makes it to the nationals. But we don't have, last time a student was in rowing on crew, and she said we mostly compete within Florida, but then sometimes we also compete like with University of Massachusetts, so some of the bigger schools too.
Okay, thank you. We have a student here who was in our last session, and he has a burning question that he wants to ask, and he didn't get a chance to ask it last time he was in the Skype session. So
Okay.
he's gonna come up front and ask his question, then go on to class.
Hello, my name is Abner Lopez. I'd like to know something. Based on high school, what variables would you say remain constant throughout college?
Excellent question. That's for you guys.
I would say like the structure, even though college, like, you get to pick your own classes and it's the structure, like the structure of classes in high school are really similar. So you're always gonna have like that professor that like talks and like gives you assignments, and then it's on you to complete them. And even more so, like it's more free in that sense, but you're still expected to kind of have those assignments turned in, and it's like more your responsibility, but it's more on you to kind of get the passion, get the drive to fix whatever it is you need to fix in order to turn the things in on time. So still the same classroom structure in terms of assignments and papers and things like that. It's not like you get like these crazy things that are like different. You still have like, you know, the typical like busy work in some classes. However, it is more on you in order to like complete those and have, you know, kind of like get your stuff together and like make sure that you're keeping track of what classes has what due, if that makes sense.
Thank you very much.
Definitely each turn. So
Yeah.
you do it.
I'm still thinking.
I was thinking of things that don't remain constant. Like, you have a lot more freedom in terms of choosing classes, so you take classes more based on what you're interested in. You still have a general education requirement, but the part that I like about college that I didn't have as much in high school, at least in my high school, was getting to choose the classes that I'm interested in, because then you sort of excel in specific areas. That's what doesn't remain constant. So.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that remains constant. Like the gen ed system is something I think is quite similar to high school. You just have certain classes that you have to take. But everything else is you have a lot more freedom to do what you want, as well as you have a lot more responsibility because no one's like trailing after you to finish stuff. You have to finish stuff yourself and turn stuff in on time, and it's up to you to keep your grades up and things like that. But yeah, I would say like the gen ed system where you have core classes that you have to take is kind of similar to high school.
I would add that I think that from high school, so it was a long time when I transitioned from high school to college, but what remains constant too is that you have to be good at time management and develop certain study habits. So if you don't have, like, if it's hard for you to sit down and do your work in high school, you really have to develop those habits in college because you do have less supervision. I feel like a couple people said you have more freedom, actually, which means you have less supervision, so it's more on you to get stuff done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We have our senior class president who will now take front stage to ask a question.
Okay.
All
her on the spot.
Hi, my name is Alex, and my question is, what advice do you have for students when they're deciding on their major? I've heard about following your passion, but what if the degree you get from your passion doesn't get you a good paying job or a job at all?
Okay, we couldn't hear the end of that. Can you repeat it? It's, yeah, it's class.
Nice and loud. So what advice do you have for students when they're deciding on a major? I've heard about following your passion, but what if the degree you receive from your passion doesn't get you a good job or a job at all?
Yeah. All right, so that's pretty good.
I'm gonna jump in. So I didn't really have that much experience with this. Luckily, I like and I'm good at math and computer science, and you're probably gonna get a good paying job. But what I would say is first find what you enjoy and what you're good at, or willing to learn a lot about. And what I would do is once you start going into that, look at something that a position or a company that you would like to work for. Because I think for anything there's going to be something that you can find a good job. So first, what you like. Second, what you're good at, and then start looking at where you can find that to kind of fit.
And kind of going off that, I think a lot of it, Rollins does give you that opportunity to explore in your first year of college. So a lot of institutions are like this, but you do have that kind of grace period where you get to take a bunch of different classes from a lot of different majors and see what suits you. Like personally, I went into college as an international relations major, and I realized it wasn't what I wanted to do at all. And I had always kind of liked psychology and been really interested by it, and I took a class and fell in love, and like that's what I ended up doing. And I didn't feel like I was going to class. You know, it was learning made fun for me, and so like when I have to do work in my major, it doesn't feel like I'm doing work. It feels like I'm doing something that I really like to do. And a lot of the things too that is important is there are certain fields that like computer and mathematics, like you have to have experience in that field. But there are a lot of fields that are really flexible in terms of majors. So as a psychology major, like I could go into business and like you wouldn't necessarily expect that. And I think that's something that in high school I wasn't aware of, the fact that like so many people are hiring based off of your qualities and your experience and your networking and all those things. So not necessarily like concrete major like psychology, you have to go into psychology, or business, you have to go into business. It's a lot more flexible and a lot more adaptable. So just kind of go to college like expecting to grow and to go for a major that you're interested in, and from there like life will take you so many different places. So
Yeah, I think it's important that you do something you like, regardless of, I guess, having the intention, like everybody does want a good job and a good paying job, but you wouldn't want to do something and study something you don't enjoy, just have a good paying job. So if you look at it with the mindset that I want to do something I like and I will find a job, and like start looking at ways like that you could market your major in different fields, I think that would be more beneficial than just trying to find out what major would be the best for a good job. So I think when you go into college, you don't want to go into college thinking, what is my job going to be when I get out of college? Because education is valuable in and of itself. And that will help you get a job. So I've had a lot of experience with this in terms of changing my major to philosophy, because so many people say, what are you going to do with a philosophy major? Like there's no job that necessarily follows from studying philosophy. But philosophy teaches you how to think. It teaches you critical thinking skills. It's led me to the path of deciding that I want to go to law school, which I never would have considered before. So just being open to letting those changes happen, so that and realizing the value of education in and of itself is what will help you be successful, not necessarily focusing on education for an instrumental value so that you can have a specific job, because I think those things will fall into place if you're open to those opportunities.
Thank you, lady. Such thorough answers. Okay, we have another question in the audience coming forward for you. Careful, girlfriend.
Hi, my name's Tatiana. I'm a senior, and my question is, how does your college help college students who are struggling academically or need extra help?
I'll start. So we have a tutoring center. I'm actually a tutor, and we're all students in the tutoring center who will help you for free. You can sign up for tutoring lessons for free through the library. So there's tutors for every course on campus that will work with you on your homework or papers or writing assignments, basically anything you need help with. And also professors always have office hours where they're available to meet with you if you need extra help or have questions or just want to talk about what's going on in class. So yeah, students and professors both go out of their way to help you if you need the additional support.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Rollins is how easy it is to be in touch with your teachers, which you don't get at big schools. Teachers here are so willing to help and they always have time for you. And I think that's such a big thing. There's times I've spent like 4 or 5 hours going over like a study guide with one professor for a class. So it's stuff like that you get help directly from the source rather than, I mean, you do have tutoring and stuff like that, but I think that's all, it's such a great like advantage to have your teacher or professor help you one-on-one.
And I think another thing, I know we talk a lot about professors, but that's one of the really unique things about a small school is how well you get to know your professors. And I think actually, this is going back to like one of the things that changes in college is like that relationship that you have with your professor is very different from the relationships I had with my high school teachers. I had a couple of high school teachers that were really influential in my life and that like I think to this day, and I was really close to those specific ones. But overall, my high school teachers, there was a very consistent barrier that we had. It was like a very, professional relationship as it should be. And the relationship between professor and student is still very professional. However, I know my professors on a more intimate level, I would say. Like, our professors have taken us out to like dinner and like at the end of a really challenging course or something like that. Or like I can go into my professor's office even if I'm having something that's on a bad day that's not related to school, and they'll understand and be there for me kind of as a mentor. So it's more of a, equal level relationship, I would say, although there still is that professionalism that you maintain. And so it's really helpful to just know them on that level, and they know you so well, and they'll do whatever it takes to help you. Obviously, like within the realms of like appropriate realms, that they will be there for you and go out of their way to like make time for you, and like she said, like spend, if you're struggling in one specific area, like spend more time explaining that. And I think that's been really helped me in my career at Rollins.
Yeah, they pretty much hit everything. So I'm actually struggling really badly right now with one of my courses in mathematics. And I've tutored like her at the tutoring center, and there's pretty much a tutor for everything, but I'm the tutor for math, and there's no tutor for this course. Yeah, that's right. But like they said, like the relationships you have with the professors, they know it's like hardcore. Like we'll sit for an hour just answering one question. So just to show you guys, we worked through it this semester. He knows that I put in the work, and he's gonna meet me halfway. And we're actually all as a class going out to drink on Wednesday because it was really rough. So, so just to show you guys like the relationship there, and they will work with you. So.
And that class must all be over the legal drinking age, because if they're not, we can't take them out drinking. But yeah, I would just echo that. We actually at Rollins, we have great support services. So we have the tutoring center. We also actually have a writing center. And so the writing center, you can go in with any paper and they'll help you with the writing. And the tutoring center is content specific, but the writing center, they really work on grammar, style, mechanics, and you can go in as many times as you want with one paper or with multiple papers. And then, as a professor, from my perspective, of course, we work one-on-one with our students, not only when they're having trouble, like none of you are in the morning session, but Ms. Caparco was. So one of my students came and she was supposed to be in that session. She said, I can't do the session. I'm really stressed out, and I'm also her academic advisor. So when you're in college, at least at Rollins, you have a professor that helps you choose your classes, and that person has to sign off when you drop a class. So this student actually came in to take, to switch her chemistry class to a pass-fail instead of a graded course, which at Rollins, and this is our last day of classes. So at Rollins, one time during your 4 years, you get the option, if you think you're not doing as well as you want, to just go ahead and switch to pass-fail at the end. So there's a lot of different kinds of support, actually institutionalized support, different offices, and then our classes are small and we know our students really well. And so that student was my advisee, so she hung out after I signed her form and told me what had been going on this semester, which had been extremely stressful. So, okay, Grace has to go back. Grace is going back to work now, but the rest of us are staying.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Grace. We have a student here with another question.
Okay.
My name is Dayani, and I would like to know, how would you describe your campus living experience? For example, living in dorms, the food, and study rooms.
Okay, now that one was all on you.
So communal bathrooms are a thing. That shocked a lot of people. Like when I first got to college, I was like, what the heck is this? Like I don't have my own toilet and shower. And so you're definitely gonna need shower shoes. Because everyone is in those showers and you don't want to do that. But no, it's not as bad as it sounds. We are like really blessed at Rollins to have really great living conditions. Honestly, like I've seen pictures of other schools and it might not be as nice, but it's just a living. So most people have the standard double room when you first get to college as a freshman. So you would just be in a dorm with someone else, and it's kind of a small room, but it really is a college experience. Like you work things out with your roommate, like you're always gonna have tips and stuff and like little discussions, but it's fine. Like honestly, you have RAs who are there to help you manage anything that you might need, or any arguments that might happen if it's out of like the norm, and you can always switch if you're having problems. So I think that's like a myth about college, that it's this awful thing. After that, things kind of start going on the uphill. Like there's other situations you can get, like there's apartments on campus we have after you're like more so an upperclassman, and we also have singles if that's for some people, that's not for all people. So there's definitely like a range of living situations. Honestly, I've never really had issues with the living situation. I've always kind of liked it. Like it's fun, it's college, it's 4 years. And after that, you really go off and you have time for all like the adult things. So I didn't mind it.
Can you explain what an RA is?
Oh yes, RA is a residential assistant. Yeah. And so they're just there to help you with any needs you may have. They make sure everyone's safe, and they make sure that people are getting along well with their roommates. They answer questions you might have. They host social events for your floor. I think they do one month. They make sure that like your doors are decorated, so they do like door tags, which is fun. And they're just there for really whatever you may need. It's really helpful. We have an on-duty phone where at any time during the night you can call them if something is happening, if you have an emergency, things like that. So it's really, really helpful to have them there.
And they're students, and they're juniors and seniors, so they're upper class students.
Yeah.
Living on campus. I don't live on campus anymore because I am a germaphobe and a clean freak, and I didn't like having a roommate, so I live off campus alone now. But it's definitely a good college experience to have. It teaches you a lot of skills, and it definitely is, at least your freshman year, something to see if you're into or not. But it's definitely a good experience. As for study rooms, there's the library, and there's 4 different floors. And there are a lot of different study rooms. There are private rooms, there are public rooms, there's like a non-quiet floor where you can study. So there's a lot of places to study. Even in the dorms, there are rooms to go and study in like common areas. So there are a lot of places to study apart from your room.
You guys covered most of it, but basically the first year living on campus is really fun because you get to meet everybody in your dorm. It's a great way to meet people who are in your class, to make new friends. Living on campus is really easy because you have access to everything. The campus center with food is right, 2 minutes away. The library is right there. So you just have access to everything, and it sort of brings everything together in a really good community feel. So I think it's really fun. And really helps with the transition, especially when you live in a dorm, so that you can meet a lot of new people.
Moving on.
I'm looking for brave souls. Hold on a second.
We're not scary.
That's right, we're not scared.
They're a little more intimidated than my last class. Hold on a second. They're getting up the nerve. I can see it in their faces. Brian, you want to come up?
You know what about the basketball?
Come on, be brave. Somebody be brave.
Come on, Brian. Anybody? Okay, I'll ask my question. I'll go for them. So my question is, I'm Ms. Caparco, and I teach social studies here at Integrated Arts and Technology in Rochester. And my question is, what is the best piece of advice from Dr. McLaren to her students, both of you, that you can give our graduating seniors and even our upcoming juniors and sophomores that are in the room for going off to college? You've mentioned some about, taking advantage of the centers and talking to professors and things. But what is the one piece of advice that you would give these students?
We're thinking. Just one,
That's okay.
Yeah, just one.
just one piece of advice.
One piece of advice. If you could only give one piece of advice, what would that one piece of advice be to these students? For each one of you.
Yeah, I would say your first year, especially your first semester, it's really easy to get distracted. A lot of people do. I saw a lot of my friends do that. You have so much freedom when you get to college. You're not with your parents a lot of the time. You're living in this new place. Often you're 18 and you can go out to like a lot of the parties and clubs and stuff like that. So you're not going to have that monitoring that you do at home a lot of the time. And so I would just say, find the balance between social life and academic work, because you're really going to regret it later on when you're looking for jobs or whatever your after college life is going to look like. If you have a lower GPA because of something, not because you couldn't get the grades that you wanted, but because you just failed to do what you needed to do. So I would say, obviously GPA isn't everything, and it's okay, nobody's perfect, but if you're not getting the GPA you want because of prioritizing something else when you're at college to learn, I would definitely say stay focused. It's easy to get really distracted, but definitely prioritize your academics over your social life. It's fine.
I had the same one actually.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, you first then. Okay, I'll go. Okay, mine would be, well, since I'm graduating in 2 weeks, I've been reflecting a lot on how much I've changed at Rollins. I came in as one person thinking I wanted to do one thing, and I'm leaving as a totally different person doing something I never saw myself doing. Law school was never something I ever thought about. And so my advice would be to be open-minded to the new experiences that you'll have in college. Let it change you. Be curious about what you're learning and stay active and engaged so that you can let those opportunities, take advantage of the opportunities that you have, because college is a really unique time in your life where you have access to things. And yeah, just be open-minded to those experiences.
Can you say what major you came in with?
I came in as a business major. I wanted to be a wedding planner. There's nothing wrong with being a wedding planner, but I took an ethics course first semester, freshman year, changed my major to philosophy, and fell in love with it. And yeah, now I'm going to law school.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I guess my one piece of advice would be, I think college is a really interesting place, and it's a very unique place. You have that freedom, but you still have to study, and it's a good place. I think it's a good place to grow, and I would say that's my biggest advice, is find early on your sort of balance, like what you were saying, in order to allow yourself to grow, because from that balance, you'll be able to do so much more than you thought you could. And I think that's important just to, as soon as you possibly can, when you get used to everything, to find a balance and have that balance remain throughout your college years.
And I would just say, thinking back on my own college days, which were long ago, but I still remember them. So I would say, don't be afraid to take risks. When I started college, I wanted to be a psychology major, and I wanted to be a therapist or a counselor, and I didn't have much exposure to philosophy. I had one course in high school, a humanities course, where we read some philosophy, Kant, Immanuel Kant, among other things, and I liked it, but I never really had a whole course in it. So then I took a course in philosophy, and I actually took a graduate level course in my first year of college, and I had to ask the professor's permission, and I fell in love with it, and it really changed my whole life because I switched. It took me like a year because, of course, I wasn't sure what I would do with philosophy major, but after about a year of taking philosophy courses and psychology courses and loving the philosophy and not so much the psychology, I switched my major. And my grandfather, who worked for Ford making cars, kept saying, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with a philosophy degree? And I said, I don't know, Grandpa. I don't care. I'll pump gas. I'll wait tables. But this is what I love to do. So don't be afraid to take risks, try things you haven't tried, and to really follow your passions, your interests, because as we said before, if you follow those passions and interests, you will find a job in, either in your field or related to it. And it's the best thing you can do rather than pursue something you don't like and then be stuck doing it for 40 years.
I have another question.
Okay.
All right, so my students were assigned a 5 to 7 page paper in November and a presentation. What else? Paper, presentation. What else did I give you? Oh, final product and a journal, an electronic journal. These 4 components, right? So they got it in November, it's due in June, and they think I'm crazy because I gave them a 5 to 7 page paper in November and it's due in June and I'd be doing too much. So I'm just wondering in college, because it's been a while since I've been, I'm wondering in college, tell me about the structure of your classes. Like, do you even get 5 to 7 page papers?
Yeah. Okay.
Lay it on.
I just turned in a 40-page paper on Monday.
That's not normal.
That's not normal. So that was a 40-page paper for one. That was one class out of the 5 that I have. However, that's the only 40-page paper I've had in my college career, and I've been here for 3 years. So again, that's not normal. But it is very, very normal to have 10-page papers, 12-page papers, 5-page papers is probably your minimum that you'll get. So I would say it's not, honestly, like writing is, it can be a drag and it's difficult to do when you're not very experienced at it, but it's not, writing is something that like Rollins College and all other institutions prepare you for your first year of college. So you'll have that initial class where they'll teach you the mechanics of writing in college and what it's like and what you need to focus on. And you do have those tutoring and writing centers. So it's something that becomes so natural to you where writing a 5-page paper, I could do it in my sleep at this point. However, that's not to say that it's not difficult, and I felt that way when I was in high school. So it's a very normal to feel like, that's hard because it is challenging, but I think everything comes with practice. And so now a lot of us can speak about writing these papers, and I would rather have a paper than a lot of other assignments right now at my point and where I'm at. And so I think the structure of college, like we talked about before, it makes it easier to write these papers when you're working towards classes that you love. And so it's not just a drag to do because you're not interested in this course or whatever it is. You chose this, and I think that once you choose your major and once you're in this field, you kind of take it upon yourself to be like, this is my responsibility. And everyone who's in college wants to be here, and so everyone has that drive and passion to do what they need to do in order to graduate. And so, not to scare you guys with a 40-page paper, I know I'm still scared about it, still shocked that I did it, but I'm just saying, college is work, and there's no way to sugarcoat that, but it's so worth it. I don't know.
So,
40-page paper is not.
yeah, talk about the kinds of assignments.
Well, I also think it's very very dependent on your major. Like philosophy and writing majors and other like English majors and history majors require you to write, but I have a friend who's a physics major and he thinks 12-page papers are ridiculous, and the most he writes is like 5-page papers, and then I guess like whatever whatever like labs and stuff like that. So I think it's really dependent if you're scared about specifically writing, that there are other majors that you might be more interested in that would work to not writing and doing more like critical thinking like math and physics and stuff like that. So yeah, it just depends what you're interested in. Like what you were saying, it was the whole idea, if it's something you're interested in writing about, it'll be so easy to write about because it's something you have an interest and passion to write about, and that's where your major comes into play.
Okay, I hate to cut you off real quick, but we only have 4 minutes left. And
Yes.
Jalen has a burning question that he would like to ask. Jalen, I had Jalen when he was in 8th grade, and now he is the big man on campus in 10th grade. So,
Wow.
I know, right? He's all grown up. He's going to ask his question.
How would you incorporate more diversity in the college?
How would we incorporate more diversity and balance at the college? Yeah, how would we? Okay, well, this is another one we got this morning, so I'll start and then they can chime in. So incorporating more diversity is an explicit goal of Rollins. We are, as I said this morning, a predominantly white institution, but not by intention or design. It's partly, I think, because our college is expensive and it's perceived as expensive, and also, but that's not, and it's also, I think our outreach, like I didn't know about Rollins. I grew up in Ohio, so I didn't know about Rollins. You know, I was far away from it. I wasn't in Florida. I hadn't heard of it. So we're a small place, right? So about 50% of our students are from Florida, and then the other 50% are from all over the U.S. And then we actually have 18% international students. We have a lot of students from the Caribbean and from Latin America because we're very close to those areas, actually. So in terms of our diversity, we have many, many more Latino, and Caribbean students than we do, for instance, African American students because of our geographic location. But we have been trying to do diversity outreach at every level, at faculty, staff, and student level, and we're still doing that. Like for faculty, we advertise in certain places. We have special programs that one student was talking about. We actually have a special program to attract students from underrepresented groups and then to also support them once they're here.
Thank you. We have to get going just because our time is up and the students have to get on to the next class, but we want to give you a round of applause. And thank you so much, ladies, for coming out and speaking to us today. We got some valuable feedback and suggestions and advice, and we look forward to keeping in touch.
Thank you. Thank you.